Hi, this is Dave, and welcome to website-installer.com. And once you get your website, you're going to want to know how to operate the admin panel. So let's take a look at that now so you can understand what that's going to be like. Let's say you're a roofer and you got a roofing website. So let's just go on down to that and choose one. Let's go with this. Okay. So say you bought this and you got your domain name and you had this auto install. So it's done. A couple of minutes later, you're totally live and you got a welcome email explaining to you how to log in. So you should know by now that you would go to your own website, okay, and you put in /administrator, and that brings you to the login page. Okay, you'll have your credentials and your email, so just follow them, and that's going to allow you to get in. Okay, once you're logged in, first thing I want to point out is this. Most of the important stuff is up here in the blue bar, and then some of those things are repeated down below, like pages is pages. Okay. Notice this is different though. Global settings is not the same as global variables. Global settings is global settings. Another thing to note, and it's extremely helpful, as you hover over these individual icons, look to the right, and you'll see over here that there are topics for these. Okay. That gives you a strong understanding right away of what these are for, how to use them. So this is the quickest resource you have for getting around on the inside of your admin panel. It's very useful, very handy, and you'll find that this is quite easy to get adjusted to. Now, let's come back to this concept. One of the first things you're going to be interested in doing is dealing with the pages. So let's start by clicking on the icon over here, the logo, because that'll open the website in a new tab. That way we can sort of see what we're doing over here while we work in the admin panel over there. Okay, so if we change something here, we could just flip over here and refresh the page to see our changes. Okay, so first things first, if you're wondering where are the pages to be found, all of these are pages, and where are they to be found? That's under pages. So if I click on pages, you'll see right away. There's home, about us, services, and then these are indented because they belong to services, and then gallery, videos, and contact us. And that's exactly what you see happening up in here. Okay. All right. Now, what can you do with the pages? You can open a page to edit it by just clicking on one. Okay. You can notice the URL. That helps you later when you want to link to a certain page somewhere in the system, then this is the page. For instance, index.html, about-us.html. This is not even a page, it's got a pound symbol. And what the pound means is that it will not actually open a new page, it'll stay in place, but therefore give you the dropdown. Okay. Now, if you want to open any one of these pages directly, you can do it with this. I'll just click that for a moment and take a look. Roof-maintenance.html. It's one of the pages, okay, that I got by clicking on roof-maintenance.html. Okay. You can enable or disable pages over here. So if I flip it off, okay, now I can still work on it and I can still see that roof maintenance page. It is still there. It did not get deleted, but it is no longer in this drop-down box because it's not meant for other people to see. Okay, so it will not show up in the menu. All right. So now if I want to enable it again, I can go ahead and do that. Okay. And it will therefore, when I refresh, show back up in the menu drop-down. Okay. What else? So that way you can disable pages, then edit them, and when they're the way you want them to be, re-enable them. That way people only see what you're ready to show them. Okay, you can delete pages here if you actually want to go ahead and delete a page. You can duplicate a page here. By doing that, it'll create a version of the page right in this list that's very similar to the page you have now. It'll say something like copy of. But then you'll be able to go into that second page and doctor it up, tweak it to make it different but related. Okay, so having said that, you can also change the order. See the Save Sorting button? Let's say I wanted the About Us to be down here right before the Contact Us. I could take it and literally drag it down. Okay, And I could even say maybe I want the gallery above services or some such thing. By the way, if I move a page that has a drop down, it will bring the whole drop down with it, even if it doesn't look like it right away. Watch this. I'm going to take services, pull it under gallery, okay? And it left all that there for the moment. But as soon as I hit save sorting, you'll see that was just a visual effect. Now gallery's here, then services with all of its pages, and the about us is down here. So if I go back and change it, okay, there you go. These things are changed in that order. Why would somebody care about that really? Because they find very often that this can affect their cash flow. You know, it's good to test these things out. See if moving some things around gets things noticed faster and more often. Okay, so there you go. Now, what do we want to know from here? We can go into any one of these pages. Oh, by the way, we can, of course, select all. Okay, we can deselect. We can add a new page. And if you add a new page, okay, then here you go. What kind of a page do you want? Normal page with a link in the menu, or a page that does not have a link in the menu? It's a regular page, but it's not also in the menu. And you can put down whatever you'd like it to be. Roofing shingles. You know, if you're going to do a new article, shingles. Now I'll show you what it does when I hit enter. Okay, it gave me a useful page URL, so I didn't have to think it up. Okay, you could adjust it, you just probably won't. Okay, it's assuming the parent page is the root page, but maybe I also want it under something like services. I could put it there. Okay, that way it becomes part of the drop-down box for the services. Okay, now do I want to show the sidebar on the page or not? Okay, I can say yes or no. See, some pages it's distracting to have a sidebar. For example, your contact us page. When you want people to contact you, you want them to contact you. You don't want to interrupt their point of view with a big sidebar on the side, left or right, necessarily. Okay? So you can say yes or no to the sidebar. And if you do say yes, you can decide which sidebar widgets that you have running, that you created, are allowed to show up on that particular page. Maybe you want all of the sidebar options to show up, but you might just want one or another, or two or three. If you want to make multiple selections, hold down your control key and hit something else. Okay, hit something else. And you could do it again with the control key down to deselect as well. That way you can get just the items you want to show up on that particular page. This is useful if you actually create multiple videos, for example. Video 1 covers roof maintenance. Video 2 covers roofing shingles. Video 3, roofing repair. And maybe on this page, you only want the video for roofing shingles to show up in this list because you don't want to just throw 15 videos at somebody. You want to show them the right video on the right page. Okay. So anytime you make the changes, come down and type in whatever you would like. This is a heading, or paste it in from somewhere else. You know, here is my paragraph. All right. Now, we don't have any modules necessarily on the page, but you can put modules in there. If you do have a module, it'll have a particular code. We'll get to that. A very simple example of that would be contact us. If you did want to put that in, you could. And that would be like this, squiggly line, contact us, all in caps. And there you have it. So you could put this really anywhere you want on the page. It could come first, second, third, you know, wherever you'd like it to come. And once you put it in there like that, then the system will realize that's a module if you've selected that is a module. Okay. If you don't select the module, it'll just think that's words and it'll treat it like a word. It'll assume you meant to write that. But if you put a module as well, then it will look for this and know that that's supposed to be a contact us form. Okay, continuing. Here's the title and the canonical URL. For those who don't know, canonicals are great. The very fact that this is here doubles the link juice of each page. Canonicals, Google already splits link juice between two versions of a page, the www version of the page and the non-www version of the page. So if you want Google to combine the juice together, then we have to make a decision which version to go with, www dot or not. And we have a control for that in our system. So when it comes to the pages, just know that your canonical URL is most likely going to match your page URL. Only in advanced cases is that going to be different. Like if you have the same page, but you make copies for many cities, then you want all that juice to actually point at one page, then you would use that as the canonical URL. Okay. Now, you can put in meta keywords. No one really does anymore. It doesn't really matter to Google much anymore, so you can ignore this. Meta description is useful. You might wonder what goes in here, and it would be 2 or 3 short sentences or one longer one. Okay, just a number of words. If you wonder what you ought to put in there, just copy something useful from up here, probably one of your first sentences, just something that makes for a good opening. Just copy that, paste it in. Okay, that's really it. That way on Google results, what will you see? The blueprint to click the link and the black wording down below that sort of gives some more description for this particular page. Here is where we cover all the roofing shingles we offer you. Okay, and then hit save. If you do have coding, such as visitor tracking coding or live chat coding, some of that coding needs to go into the head section of the page. And some of that coding may need to go into the body section of the page, like before the end body tag. So these boxes are available for that. All right, this covers everything that you would do generally with pages. One more thing I want to make a point about with pages is going to be this: global variables. We haven't covered them yet, but they're extremely useful. This is dynamic print. Okay, so if you use the coding on the page in place of regular words, then that's great, because if you know that the address is always going to be the same, you know that the city is the same, the name of the company is the same, the email address is the same, may as well use the global variables. Why? Because that way we have one place to change our global variables in the admin panel, and it will update all the pages. It will cascade all the changes across all the pages for us. Wherever we have those global variables throughout the entire website, including even in browser titles for the page, things like that, then they will update, okay, automatically. So that's quite useful. I'll click that again to get it out of the way. All right, that's been the whole section for pages. And the only other thing I like to say is you can reorder items inside here as well. If you want to make something stand out more, you could do that. Just remember to hit save sorting whenever you change the order of anything. Hit save sorting to make it stick. Okay, there we have it. That concludes this. And in the next tutorial, we're going to talk about global variables more. Then we're going to get into the global settings to cover more. And then we'll talk about emails, videos, and other major modules. Then finally, we'll get into sidebars. And again, if you really have questions, then just read the content here. By walking through most of these, by walking through them here, then you'll understand this admin panel quite quickly, and you'll realize how easy it is for you or somebody working in your office to use, so you don't have to pay someone else every time you want a little change made to your website. All right, thank you very much for your support in your business, and I'm looking forward to getting into the next topic.